All right, what is up, guys? Week 3 of the Fittest of the Coast qualifiers. Coming at you with a workout breakdown. Last week we kind of started off with just some words of maybe wisdom or just some mindset stuff going into week 2. We're gonna try and start that off again this week as well. So some of you guys, maybe you saw your name jump up the leaderboard this week. And that's just kind of testament to say, like, one workout doesn't define your competition, doesn't show where you're going to place overall on the workout. There's 5 total workouts. The accumulation of those 5 total workouts is where your placement is going to be. So it's never over until it's over. A good example of this is in 2014. I was competing at the CrossFit Games on a team. We were headed into Sunday. We were sitting inside of the top 10 all weekend. I think we were in 4th place or 5th place, maybe 6th place, somewhere in that middle of the top 10, heading into our first workout of Sunday, which we ended up bombing, and it dropped us all the way down to 10th place. And that was a pretty tough blow, but we came back together. We kind of rallied around it, and we're just like, hey, we're going to go out. We're going to give our best effort on this last workout, and the chips are going to fall where they're going to fall. We just wanted to go out making sure that we gave our best effort throughout the course of the weekend. So we ended up winning the final workout. It ended up being double the points, and we ended up getting 21 points away from the podium. So essentially, like, if we had been able to do better in the first workout, we would have been able to get on that podium that year. But the only reason that is because we didn't give up on that last workout and just mail it home. So this goes for qualifiers. Yes, it is kind of defeating sometimes seeing your name slip down the leaderboard, but there's a lot of uncontrollables that we don't know about that are going to happen after the workout. So your job is to get as close as you can to that qualifying position. There might be some backfill spots. If you get in, like, you're good, right? So always be fighting to get in. Video reviews are going to happen. So there's a lot of just things that we don't know that are going to take place over the course of the next 3 weeks here. So you always want to keep fighting and putting in your best efforts. It's never over until it's officially over. So that's kind of just some mindset stuff headed into this week. That last week is always a little bit easier to kind of give it your all because the last one, just send it. But this second to last week can always be a little bit challenging to actually get in and push and give your full effort. So just remember, it's never over until it's over. And your character is judged by the effort that you give out, not your placement on a leaderboard. So always give 100% effort. Always put in your best work inside of a workout. These competitions, these qualifiers, everything is always just a learning experience and an opportunity for you to get better at the sport. So just keep pushing, keep learning. If you're not quite where you want to be, it's not over till it's over. Get yourself as close to qualification process as possible and see what happens. So that being said, talking about this workout, it is a little bit of a simpler workout to program for, because the biggest limitation on this one is going to be your grip. There's 15 toes to bar to open up a workout, which is going to be about, at minimum, like 30 seconds of hanging around, probably closer to at minimum about 20 seconds of hanging if you're like sending it on those toes to bar, which you can't do the whole time. More often than not, or more than likely, it's going to be about 30 seconds of hanging around. Then you're going to tax it holding on to that heavy deadlift bar. So there's not a lot of break between hanging and pulling that deadlift bar, besides the 10 box jump overs, which are going to take about 20 seconds, and your transition times, which are going to take about 15 seconds. So you want to, in a 14-minute workout, move as efficiently as possible without completely shattering your grip and blowing your grip up to the point where you can't hang on the bar for sets. So if you guys looked at what was happening in the first 6-7 minutes of the of the workout that they put on demonstration. The live stream ended, and I just decided to film this video, so I don't know if they came back up or not. I was keeping the girls splits. So they just started it. I didn't know what the first one was, but based off of her second round, I estimated it to be about 1 minute of work. Her next round was 105. Then she was about 121. Then she was 114. Then she was 131. And then the stream cut. So you can see there was starting, like those first two were fast, yeah, but there was starting to be some degradation of speed. Her rest times were getting longer, and that's going to lead to less reps in general. So to start out, they started out 8-7, I think, for like the first two rounds, and then I think they went down to 5s. That the guy that was next to her was pretty. I think all the guy in the end and the guy next to her, they were all pretty close together. They went down to 5s. I would not be surprised if they started dropping down to like doubles and triples, or their rest just extending exponentially in the round or two after this 131. So they were only around the 7-minute mark. So they were only about halfway. They still had 6 minutes to go. And they were still kind of there. They were having some pretty major, it looked like grip fatigue issues. So sets of 3, sets of 5 the whole time. This is an okay strategy to do. It's going to decrease your time under tension in regards to set duration. So instead of hanging on the bar for 8 reps, which is around 12 to 15 seconds, you're going to be hanging on for 7 seconds. And then you're going to shake it out, 7 seconds. Shake it out, 7 seconds, or around that time frame, right? So this is going to decrease the amount of lactate that's accumulating. It's going to allow your body's aerobic system to buffer that lactate easier. It's not as hard of a set on the body, so you should be able to sustain sets of 5 longer, if not indefinitely. On the box jump overs, you're just going to try and recover your grip as much as you can. And when you get to the deadlift bar, there's kind of 2 strategies on this. One, it's either rip singles, or 2, let me backtrack a little bit. There's a couple strategies on this. 1 is singles, 2 is just going for 5s. If you're pretty fast at singles, you can also do something like 3-1-1, where you drop the bar and just pick it back up. Personally, I am an athlete that does a lot better hinging if I am going touch and go. So I'd probably prefer to go touch and go reps as long as I could. Not as fit as I once was. Probably as long as I could. Then maybe start to go to singles as my grip starts to fatigue. The big thing on this one is you guys just want to keep moving the whole time. So whatever you need to do that. Somebody still is pretty quick at singles. That 3 touch and go 1-1 can help save the grip. Again, time under tension. If somebody's just feels good touch and go, you can go touch and go on that. So there's a lot of different options on that. Always bring it back to keep moving. Whatever you need to do to just keep a sustainable pace. Sustainable pace might look different for everybody. That might be 230 rounds for one athlete. It might be 130 rounds for another athlete. I think about 90 seconds is where you're going to want to average on this workout, which comes out to, I believe, a little over 7 reps. I think it's just shy of 10 rounds is what that averages out to be. But I think that's right around where the sweet spot is going to be. You're obviously going to have some outliers in either direction that are going to be qualifying. So you're going to probably have somebody that does end up going over 10 rounds on this. And you're probably going to have athletes that kind of go under that 9 round mark that qualify. The last thing that I wanted to touch on is your setup. So this one is going to come down to reps. Obviously, it's an MRAP, but you can also sneak out reps moving from movement to movement if you finish a movement. So if you saw in the live stream, they had pull-up bar, box, deadlift bar. If they so happen to finish their toes to bar, they're going to have to walk to their bar, we'll backtrack it. If they so happen to finish their deadlifts, they're going to have to transition all the way to their bar to get a toes to bar rep. If they have only 5 seconds, that's a whole rep that they just missed out on. So what you're going to want to do is make sure your setup is tight. Yes, it's going to require some diligence to make sure that you're at least resting between movements in the workout so that you don't fry your grip again. Or if you're a pretty elite athlete, then you can just get on it. But you're going to want deadlift bar, or sorry. Starting over. Pull-up bar, your box literally right in front of where you're going to be doing your toes to bar so that you can just come down and go right into your box jump overs. Essentially, you're hitting that last toes to bar rep, swing the feet down onto the ground so that you land and go right into that box jump over rep. And then your deadlift bar is going to be essentially right in front of that box, almost touching. It's honestly okay if the weight is touching the rig as long as the bar is not moving into your jumping lane. So your deadlifts are going to be right here and they're going to be on this side of the bar because the your toes to bar will be right there when you finish, as well as you're going to finish on this side of the box. So it keeps your workspace tight. The reason we want to do this is, again, you're going to have that last 10 seconds or whatever it might be to get reps. And if you want to go from either your box jump overs right into that pull up or right into that deadlift, so you're going to finish that jump, boom, on the deadlift bar, right? Or you're going to finish your deadlifts, go right into your toes to bar, or you're going to finish your toes to bar, go right into your box jump overs. And that's just a precaution if you are finishing around with 10 to 15 seconds left. It's going to get you another rep. So that's kind of the setup we're recommending, and just kind of something to think about. So sorry for the long video. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Hopefully it gives you some things to think about. Again, I think right around that 9.5 round mark, maybe that, 90-second round mark is going to be a qualifying score. We'll let you guys know, or just reach out if that's and we'll let you know if that's kind of the data that we're seeing. But as always, good luck, guys. Let us know if you have any questions, and hopefully looking forward to seeing you guys there.